It's like the Panthers going to win 23-20.
23-20.
That aged just as well as Skyline Chili would in the middle of the desert. I almost got the exact score that Cincinnati would drop on the Panthers. Panther people, what up? Let's talk about. We got to talk about it. Panthers got work today. Programming reminders. The Panthers, if you didn't realize, play in just a couple of days. Thursday night at home against the Atlanta Falcons. Finally in black helmets, but they're going to be doing it maybe without some defensive star players, but I'm going to be doing a live viewing party of that game. So Thursday night at the 8 o'clock hour, set your reminders. I am going to be live streaming that game. If you want to watch it with me, just let me know how you're feeling about the quarterback play. There's going to be a lot of shit to talk about. Just can't wait for you guys to join in. So stay tuned for that Thursday night. Falcons at Panthers, black helmets. Wear your all black if you can. The Panthers get beat the F down in Cincinnati, 42-21. They get doubled up by Joe Burrow and company. And I know the Cincy faithful, the Cleveland fans, just love tuning into this station and just letting me know how they feel about my team and how whack they are right now. The Panthers right now 0-2 against the state of Ohio. And they let me know that my last episode was absolute bullcrap. But I got to say, I got to preface everything. Before the season started, I said the Panthers are going to lose this game. But then heading into this game, I also said the Panthers would cover. I said they would win, but I said, just looking at the grand scheme of things, the Cincinnati Bengals were not playing to their potential. Not at all. And I did say last week, in their first game without Jamar Chase, it could take a week for them to get right and to figure their stuff out and have a get-right game against the Panthers, because that is what has happened in the past, whether it's against the Falcons or against the Los Angeles Rams. It just happened that way. And I thought maybe the Panthers defense, which has been the constant in this season, would be able to take advantage of that weaker Cincinnati O-line pass protection of one Joe Burrow. And I thought the Panthers offense, which was kind of finding its groove, found its groove last week against the Atlanta Falcons, maybe can continue that trend into this week. You know, finally, they found Deontay Foreman. They realized who he was and kept feeding him the ball, and then knew that P.J. Walker can throw the ball deep, and then they maybe take advantage of that as well while establishing the run with Deontay Foreman. But as we saw today, that did not happen. But one thing did happen, at least on the Cincinnati Bengals side. They regrouped and learned how to live without Jamar Chase, and that was giving the ball to Joe freaking Mixon. I can make a lot of jokes about how he punched the Panthers in the mouth, but I'm just going to say he punched the Panthers in the mouth, and so did this offensive line. Now, we said their pass protection hasn't been that great, but guess what? They must have been reading all the gosh darn headlines saying, hey, these guys think we can't pass protect. Let's show them we can at least run protect. And that's exactly what they did. Holy shit. I just got to make, because you got to give it to Joe Mixon. He had 3 touchdowns before the half. And we know the Panthers defense is susceptible to a heavy duty run game. And maybe they weren't prepared for a Cincinnati Bengals team without Jamar Chase to revert to a running heavy team. Honestly, I don't think Cincinnati realized they were going to be a run-heavy team today, but they realized that they are literally running up against mashed potatoes with extra milk, so it was extra runny, and they were just, every hole they can get, Joe Mixon was just bursting through it, and just, it was easy. It felt like he wasn't touched until maybe the third level when he got to the secondary, maybe. Caveat here. Brian Burns got nicked pretty early with a neck injury. He said he was fine, but he was in the blue medical tent for a while. Derek Brown had a medical illness heading into the game, tried to play, and this is one of our biggest run stuffers on the team. He then was held out at halftime, and then Dante Jackson didn't even play the entire game. He was wearing a baseball hat the entire time. So really, who are you relying on? You're relying on J.C. Horn, who, all in all, J.C. Horn, in terms of receiving, kind of held his dudes in check. Like, no one really blew us out of the water. The only guy who scored a touchdown was, again, Joe Mixon. But who are you relying on? Like Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Chin is out. So it doesn't paint a great picture for Thursday night. You got to say that. But for the offense, like, we kind of had to know it was coming. Like, I think it was Bill Parcells who said, if you have 2 quarterbacks on your roster, you have no quarterbacks. The Panthers have 4 quarterbacks on their roster, which means they have like -3 quarterbacks on their roster. So I think what's going to be happening throughout the rest of the year is we're going to be riding high, riding low, riding high, riding low. We were like riding low, high on Baker when he got picked up, low when he actually started playing, high on PJ Walker when he started playing a little bit. Then the NFL figured him out, which is not too hard. He is the 4th string quarterback on this team. And then we got a low. Then we got a bit of a high in Baker Mayfield in the second half when he actually started finding guys in the end zone. Mind you, Cincinnati pulled Joe Burrow at one point, so they just wanted to get out of that place. Both teams wanted to get out of here. It was a joke of a game for both sides, except for Mixon, who had a career day. Shout out to you. But the defense on the Cincinnati side were just kind of like, hey, can we just like get the clock moving? Yeah, score, get these first downs, not a big deal. So you can say it's a bit of a high with an asterisk for the Baker Mayfield in the second half situation. Sure, guys like Tommy Tremble got another touchdown, back-to-back weeks for a touchdown for 82. And then Terrace Marshall, my God, I wish he was in a more consequential moment, but he had his first regular season touchdown as a Carolina Panther in his second year. Thank God it took this long, but it happened. Unfortunately, it was in a blowout fashion, kind of a back-end points. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure he kept the ball. He deserves to keep the ball. It's taken him way too long to get to this point, and I'm sure a lot of it is his fault. But now we're going to go into Thursday night. Baker Mayfield's most likely going to be starting for this team. PJ Walker back to the backup. I am sure we're going to see Sam Darnold at some point because we know Baker Mayfield's going to be figured out as well. It only takes about a week or two for the NFL to keep up. So I think this is just the way it's going to be. And it's like this because we don't have a marquee franchise quarterback on this team. So people who were thinking that, what if PJ Walker was the guy next year? No, if he is the guy next year, it's because he's the bridge. That is why he's on this team next year. Bill Parcells, who said that if you have 2 quarterbacks, that means you have no quarterbacks. The Panthers have 3 quarterbacks, 1 on injured reserve, so they kind of have like -500 quarterbacks. And this is the way the season's going to go. We're just going to continuously just put quarterbacks under center or in shotgun, and they're just going to continuously disappoint us because none of them, not any single one of them, we don't know about Matt Corral yet, so put an asterisk on him, are a franchise quarterback. We've entered the point of the season where it's just about self-scouting now. Honestly, we got to look into next year. Like I just mentioned, guys like Terrace Marshall finally got his first touchdown. How is he going to develop the rest of the year? Rashad Higgins is not on the team. He's not on the team. But Shi Smith, how's he developing? Should he even be in the NFL right now? Tommy Tremble, should we be drafting a tight end in the second round? Maybe in the first round if they trade up. If that guy from Notre Dame is still available late in the first round, can the Panthers trade up to get him? Brady Christensen, how's he doing? Bradley Bozeman, how's he doing? Ike Ekwonu, how's his development as a rookie? In terms of the defense, Yetur Gross-Matos, what do you want to do in this? What do you want to do with your life? Brandon Smith, do you want to play starting linebacker? Throw him out there, see what he does. See how the kids do it. You know what I mean? And again, heading into Thursday night, we talked about how the injuries to Brian Burns, illness with Derek Brown, injuries to Dante Jackson, that can come into play. Literally, the game is in 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boom. Monday's a rest day. Tuesday, they practice most likely. They got 2 days to prepare for a divisional game that, if it's anyway as crazy as last week, do you really want to hurt your franchise player in Brian Burns, who you didn't trade away to the Los Angeles Rams for 2 first-round picks, 24, 25, and Cam Akers? Do you really want him to bust his neck again, where he's going to be the focal point of that offensive line? He's going to get crack blocked. He's going to get double-teamed, triple-teamed. Do you really want him out there on a short week? I don't think so. Derek Brown, depending on the injury, do you really want him out there? I don't know. Dante Jackson, banged up, couldn't play against Cincinnati Bengals without Jamar Chase. Do you really want him out there in a divisional game? Maybe you tell him, hey, just chill out. Just sit down. Institutional tanking. We go back to that. That's where we're at. Put the young guys out there. It's actually not a bad idea. Put the young guys out there, see what you got, and then with that, you know what you got to pinpoint in the draft, in free agency, some trades. That's when you do it. Because right now, with 2 wins, bottom of the NFC South, they're not going to be catching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe they win next week. Things get a little weird. They could still mathematically be in it. For Steve Wilkes, the fact that he lost, he's a defensive-minded guy. The fact that he lost today, and I know he wasn't playing on the field, but you know what I'm talking about. The fact that the Panthers lost to a team that has an offensive-minded, young, hot stuff head coach who are just coming off a Super Bowl berth that no one thought they would do in that quick of amount of time with a rookie wide receiver and a second-year quarterback, that's pretty amazing. And that is going to be in the back of the mind of David Tepper saying, why do I have this old defensive-minded guy when I could just grab these offensive coordinators from the Jets, who just beat the Bills, from the Eagles, who are an undefeated team. Don't look. Doesn't matter if you look at who they played, but offensive coordinator with the Eagles, offensive coordinator with the Bills. Ken Dorsey, offensive coordinator at the Bills. Sorry, offensive coordinator with the Jets. Ken Dorsey, offensive coordinator with the Bills. Offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just bring them in. Just get these young guys. Draft that young quarterback. We all build up together, kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals, who just whooped us today. Let me know how you guys feel about that game. Are you sad? Are you just kind of like, well, picking second overall in the draft now, so can't feel awful?